My name is Kenneth Jesse. Here are stories making headlines this afternoon. Special prosecutor begins investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in respect of auction sales by the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. All sales have been asked to be discontinued. Pressure mounts on the Ministry of Education over re-engagement of over 50 retired officers and a demand by Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana for full conditions of service and compensation. Three-day official tour of the Upper West region by President Accouffado started today with issues of illegal small-scale mining, security, infrastructure set to dominate the agenda. We'll bring you live update. And coming up in business, the Ghana Union of Traders Association to close their shops and demonstrate on August 29th over the fast depreciating cedi and the negative impact it is having on their businesses. And later we'll take you to Kenya, where that country's defeated presidential candidate Raila Odinga files an online petition at the country's Supreme Court challenging results of the election that gave his opponent, William Ruto, the victory. Details are coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome to the program. Now, the Ghana Union of Traders Association says it will close their shops and demonstrate on August 29th over the fast depreciating cedi and the negative impact it is having on their businesses. They have, however, cautioned Ghanaians not to hold them responsible for the high prices of goods.
Of the trading community, by the details of the trading community, by the details of the trading community, we declare closure of shops in Accra on Monday, 29th August 2022 to officially demonstrate these concerns to the government. By the details of the trading community, by the details of the trading community, we declare closure of shops in Accra on Monday, 29th August 2020 to officially demonstrate these concerns to the government. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you. And to our brothers, the clearing agents in Ghana, where their leader is here, Acha and the other groupings. As we are closing our shops, you are also not collecting duties at the port. We have instructed our clearing agents not to clear goods on the sale date. Thank you so much, the ladies and gentlemen from the press and my executives. I thank you for the confidence reposed in me. We will lead you to the promised land and we will support government in its quest to find solution. That's why we are here. We are not fighting. Thank you so very much.
Away from that story, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is embarking on a full-scale probe of some activities at the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. The auction sale of vehicles and goods, among other activities, is the focus of the latest investigation. This comes barely a week after the Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabin, demanded that The GRA's Customs Division furnishes his office with documents relating to all rulings and benchmark values applied dating back to 2017. These are all sequences of events that follow the OSP's findings of alleged corrupt activities involving La Bianca Group of Companies and the Customs Division. Let's now turn to our video wall and share with you details of the letter. So the letter says the Office of the Special Prosecutor has commenced investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offences in respect of auction sales of vehicles and other goods by the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority between 1st July 2016 and 15th August 2022. On 19th August 2022, the Special Prosecutor directed the Commissioner of the Customs Division to produce the following to the Office of the Special Prosecutor on or before 30th September 2022. 1. The particulars and clear description of all auctioned items. 2. The quantity of all auctioned items. 3. The prices at which the items were auctioned. 4. The date of each auction sales. 5. The full names, addresses and telephone numbers of the successful bidders at the auction sales. The Special Prosecutor further directed the Commissioner of the Customs Division to immediately halt and discontinue all auction sales till the investigation is concluded. Signed, Kisie Jabin, Special Prosecutor, 22nd August 2022. Let's have a conversation on the back of this, and Edem Senanu is the co-chair of Citizens Movement Against Corruption and he's joined me on the telephone line. Grateful to have you join me this afternoon, Edem. What do you make of the Special Prosecutor's latest investigation into auctioned goods?
Well, thank you. Yeah, the Special Prosecutor obviously is on a crusade to make sure that whatever is going on as far as tax revenues, we are safeguarding the purse. And I think it's important. It's good for Ghana. We've just gone to the IMF. Any resources we can retrieve, monies we can make sure go into the public purse, strengthens our position. So I am delighted that he's taking these actions. I think that the initial response by customs itself has just also probably triggered further scrutiny. And so we are happy to note that he's going to make sure there's a more thorough investigation as to all the activities that are going on in that space.
Right. There are usually reports that the people who auction the vehicles connive with the customs officers. Is there any truth in this?
Well, we are going to find out soon, sooner than later. Given the other issues that have come up, it won't be surprising if this is a Pandora's box being opened. So I'm hoping that the people who have reported, those who have indicated that there is something going on, have already provided some evidence on which basis this investigation will then be able to find if there are persons who have been engaging in robbing the state. Hopefully that will be uncovered and we all know what the Special Prosecutor will take about, what you do about it.
Right. Let's now talk about the Yoko boss's claim that they do not have enough evidence to prosecute NAM1. Is that statement that she made, should it have been made in the first place?
I mean, the question is what exactly, because my assumption is that at the time that the gentleman was picked up, there appeared to be some breach of the law. I thought they were talking about some stock exchange and other issues. So it is surprising to hear at this stage that they say there's no evidence. I found it perplexing, and perhaps there's a need to go after her to establish what they are saying, what they're thinking they need before they can take him to court. Because obviously, to the extent that he was running an entity that the government had closed down, there had to be a basis on which all of that was done. So it's quite surprising at this time to hear them say there is no evidence against them.
Okay, let's talk about LaBianca. Are you surprised that the boss of that company is still a member of the Council of State?
Well, yes. The questions that have been raised by CDD and a number of civil society organizations establish clearly that in the first instance, if you look at the background and the issues that have been highlighted, by this time, the presidency ought to have taken a position and said, once there is this investigation going on, once there are these issues that have come up, once we don't know fully what next the special prosecutor is going to put out there, it would be good in order to protect the image of both the council and especially in the context of potential conflict of interest that has been established in respect of Ghana ports and harbors. Ordinarily, one would have expected that some actions would have been taken to ask her to stand aside, at least till we are clear that the special prosecutor hasn't found any additional information that incriminates her. I would think that the least that would have happened is, at least with respect to the Ghana ports and harbors, she ought to move from that space because her business continues to work within that, that terrain.
Okay, Adam Sanano, thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. Away from that story, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana are demanding its full conditions of service and full compensations for its members for working all year round. According to the group, government is dragging its feet in implementing their full conditions despite negotiations in August 2021. Here are the details of the statement by the group. And it says the leadership of Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana wishes to express its disappointment and displeasure at the way the government is handling matters affecting the welfare of tutors of the 46 public colleges of education across the country. The association has observed with uneasiness government's relaxed attitude in ensuring that tutors in the colleges of education are given full and better conditions of service to encourage them to give off their best in the training of pre-tertiary teachers who in turn train the future leaders of the country. We therefore wish to use this press statement to draw the attention of the public to the following. Undue delay of the government in giving SETAG members full conditions of service in spite of engaging the leadership of the association in negotiations since August 2021. This attitude of the government also contravenes Article 24, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, which categorically states that failure of the government to act on SETAG's demand for the compensatory package for academic staff in the colleges of education who have been compelled to work all year round without taking a compulsory vacation or off-season break, contrary to provisions of the Harmonized Conditions of Service for the Colleges of Education, Section 10.1.6, page 74 to 75. In conclusion, SETAG wishes to A. remind the government of her obligations to teachers of the colleges of education, B. draw the public's attention to the unfairness being meted out to SETAG's members, C. serve clear notice that if by 31st August 2021 government has not given us our full conditions of service, which include our demand for unconditional extension of the parallel rate of generic and research allowances paid to analogs tertiary institutions to the academic staff of the colleges of education, and grant compensation package to tutors for the all-year-round academic work. All members of the association across the 46 public colleges of education shall strongly advise ourselves. And I've been joined on phone by the president of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, Prince Obinhima, for more on this. Prince, grateful for your time this afternoon. What will be your next line of action if government fails to meet the various demands you have outlined?
Good afternoon to you and then your cherished listeners, and a very warm afternoon to the tutors across the country who are hooked to this big platform of yours. Exactly what we mean by this is come 31st, if the government doesn't do what is legitimately ours that we are asking for, the council of the association, which is the highest decision-making body of the association, will meet and then prescribe what action we have to take. For now, I will not be able to preempt what the decision will be, but from where I sit, I foresee that strike action will not be, will not be out of order. And if that happens, we'll have no option that we implement it.
Right. August 2021 to August 2022 is a year. Why have you waited that long before coming up with a statement?
Because we've been very patient and then we've collaborated with government on the negotiation table. But seeing that a year within the negotiation, we're not making any headway, we think that it's marks of a lack of commitment on the part of the government. That is for the conditions of service, particularly when the same government through the Ministry of Finance has come out with a document in which they've agreed on conditions of service, that is generic allowances to be drawn by members of the tertiary dispensation within the college, and we are a part, and they decided to take us out. I think it's unfair, and like we said, it's marks of discrimination. We are also saying that for the tutors having to work all year round from January up to December, because that is the new academic calendar of the colleges. Because of lack of infrastructure, we always have two cohorts of students on campus, so that as soon as they go, the other two cohorts also come with the same teachers working. What it means is that the tutors are having to work throughout the year, putting our lives, our health on the line and all of that. And we expect that to be compensated, sort of. So that's what we are talking about.
Right. When last did you engage government, and what was government's position or stance?
For the compensation, in fact, we have had different levels of discussion on the matter, first with our principals. And we had to write a letter through the principals to the GTEC, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. Our checks show that the principals have since forwarded the letter to GTEC. We discussed with GTEC when we had opportunity a couple of months ago. We also discussed this issue with the Honorable Minister of Education when we had opportunity to also meet with him a couple of months ago. So it's like we've taken it upon ourselves to discuss with the people who matter as far as the issue is concerned.
Prince, thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. Now, some educationists are calling on the Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum, to take immediate steps to direct all retired Ghana Education Service directors to hand over without any further delay. Their demand follows the extension of the Deputy Director General Anthony Boatin's service by 1 year after he was due for retirement. They are also claiming that 11 out of the 16 regional directors who have retired are still at post. According to them, the directive by their demand will flush out the choked system and allow qualified officers to rise through the professional and administrative ladder. Meanwhile, about 75 officials promoted to Director 2 rank in 2022 are still at their old stations awaiting posting. Right, so let's have a conversation on the back of this. And joining me via Zoom is the Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Pate Anti. Thank you very much for joining me, Doc.
Good afternoon.
Right. Let me take your initial reaction to this claim that some people in the education sector who have retired are still at post.
Well, I think that it is a practice that we need to sit down and have a deeper conversation about, because I wouldn't say that this is the first time we having such an experience. It's been something that's been ongoing for years, and for me, I think we will need to sit down and have a deeper conversation and look at the modalities by which we undertake some of these things, because it has the tendency of weakening the morale of those who need to go up in their profession in that particular service, and we the earlier we have a broader conversation about it, the better it will be for all of us.
Right. And they've also raised concerns that some people are due for promotion at least 2 years now, and they still haven't been promoted. Why is that the case?
Well, I wouldn't know what is really happening. I know that there were changes in the processes through which workers in the service are promoted. I don't know what has really happened, that those who needs to be promoted are still have still not been promoted. That is why I'm thinking that we need to have a broader conversation about this. We need to look into some of these complaints, because you see, the education service is one of the biggest services in the country, and if their productivity goes down, it means it's going to affect a whole lot of things within the Ministry of Education. And I think that we need to sit down and look at this issue about employee promotion, motivation, and all those issues surrounding extension of contracts, those whose time is due and still at post. We have to look at all these things and see how best to be able to streamline the processes to suit not only the people involved, but all of us within the space.
Right. There's been a plethora of issues that have come out from the education sector, especially this year. Not long ago, I spoke with a member of CTAG who are demanding their conditions of service. It's been a year already. Is government taking the education sector in the country for granted, you'd say?
I wouldn't say that. I think that most of the other sectors are also having serious challenges. Sometimes we will have to look at what the challenges really are. For CTAG, I know that their issue has been pending for years now, and it's unfortunate that now they have not been able to settle the challenges that the tutors or the lecturers at the colleges of education are going through. So government, I think, might be doing its best, but there are rare challenges that we need to be open about it. If we involve all those who are supposed to be involved in this, and then let them appreciate whatever challenges that the ministry is going through. I think open conversation, engagement, and broader consultation about some of these things would term the situation, because as it stands now, it's very, very difficult. You've seen previously a lot of unions within the ministry embarking on strike, raising issues about so many things, their welfare and all those things, and as the day passes by, see other issues are coming up within the sector. And I think that the leadership of the ministry, as well as the Ghana Education Service, should find a way to resolve some of these things, so that there will be some kind of smooth running in the education sector. Either than that, we are going to have these challenges popping up here and there till only God knows.
Right. Dr. Peter Anti, grateful for your time this afternoon. Still to come in this bulletin, President Accouffado has officially commenced his tour of the Upper West region. That's what's coming up after the break. If you just joined us, this is Newsbeat on Metro TV with me, Kenneth Jesse. Now, President Accouffado has begun a 3-day working visit to the Upper West region. He will, on this tour, commission completed projects, inspect ongoing ones, visit traditional authorities, and interact with the people of the region. He will inspect the progress of work on the second phase of the Youth Resource Center, pay a courtesy call on the Lambusikro, and inspect the Agenda 111 hospital project there. Now, he will also depart to the palace of the Nandom Na and cut the sword for the dualization of Nandom Twin Towns roads to ending the first day's activities. Now, joining me on phone is our Upper West regional correspondent, who is a man on the ground, Adams Musa. Adams, welcome to the program. What has the president been up to today?
Well, thank you, Kenneth. The president started his activities for the day with a radio interview at GBC Radio Upper West in Wa, where he spent 30 minutes interaction with the people. And from there, the president paid a courtesy call on the overlord of the Wala traditional area, Na Seidu Hussein Telipuo IV, where he greeted the president and listened to the president listened to the chief concerning some of the issues in Wa. Well, at the palace, Na Hussein Telipuo, through the spokesperson, thanked the president for his annual visit to the Upper West region and also to interact with the people of the Upper West region, and also listen to the people concerning how his government is doing. He thanked the president and also highlighted some of the things the president has been able to do since he came into office. He indicated that a number of things have been able to do for the municipality, particularly Wa, and he highlighted some of the things they've made appeal to the president, which the president is yet to do, particularly the only girls senior high school in Wa, Jamiat Senior High School. The last time the president came, somewhere October 2020, appealed to the president to ensure that there's a fence in the school, which the president has not yet been able to do. So they pleaded to the president to ensure that the work is done. One major thing the paramount chief indicated at the palace was the dualization of Wa Township roads, particularly the major highway linking Wa University for Business and Integrated Development Studies to Kaleo. This road is a major road in Wa, which link Upper West region to neighboring Burkina Faso. And they asked the president if they could speed up work on this particular road and realize it to reduce accidents and also make movement free. It's also something that the chief of Wala traditional area indicated strongly to the president. President, in his response, said his government has been able to do a number of things in the Upper West region. He mentioned that about 18 road projects have been able to completed in Upper West region, and they still have over 100 road projects ongoing in the Upper West region. So he believes that this particular road is one of the roads that government will give priority to. The president assured the good people that before he leaves office, Upper West region will get his fair share of the national kit concerning development in the Upper West region. So the president from there inspected the second phase of Youth Resource Center. It was just a brief one, where we are now moving to Lambuse, where the president has a number of activities to do in Lambuse. In Lambuse, Lambuse is one of the deprived districts in the Upper West region. It's one of the districts that has no single third road in the district. You wouldn't believe that. And is quite deprived. So the president will cut a sword for the town third road project and also inspect Agenda 111. In Upper West region, five areas have been earmarked for Agenda 111, which Lambuse is one of the districts that is benefiting from Agenda 111. So the president will inspect the work and also interact with the chiefs and people. From Lambuse, the president will move to Nandom, where he will spend quite a time, visit the paramount chief of Nandom, Professor Dele Spalis, and also have a deba in Nandom. And he will also take his lunch in Wa and depart from Nandom to Wa this evening to interact with MMDCs and party executives. So that's how the president is scheduled to run his activities at the first day in the Upper West region. And I might say the president's visit is quite a good one because the people receive him well and he ensured that he will deal with issues that are coming up. One other thing he mentioned is the resurfacing of illegal mining.
Right.
He said they have taken notice of some of the areas that illegal mining was not happening for some time now, but they understand that illegal mining is coming up. And
that looks like a lot of activities the president is engaging in. But thank you very much, Adams Musa, for that comprehensive report. Now, the black voter runs through the Upper West region and its path is found within the Nadoli district of the region. During the start of President Accouffad's 3-day tour of the Upper West region, he bemoaned the loss of the fight against galamsey in that part of the country. Government, through the Minerals Commission, keeps devising measures to stop illegal mining. The latest is the deployment of speedboats to patrol river bodies. The question on the lips of many is, how has the general fight against illegal mining fared? Now, to help us get some answers, I've been joined on phone by a mining consultant, Seth Wolashime. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon, Mr. Wolashime. Now, how would you assess Ghana's fight against illegal mining so far?
Well, I think that basically this government, when they came to power, started well by putting a hold on all those mining activities to actually audit the system. Now, that initial success, I think, was not sustained because then they shifted their attention to trying to crack down. And the crackdown had to sort of even include people who have licenses and they were mining legally. Burning of excavators and all that, became a problem. Now, I think the approach was completely wrong. And the worst of it was to put soldiers in the bush trying to monitor these things. At the end of the day, the soldiers were corrupted. They were guarding people to do activities illegally, and they were collecting their shares. The whole system, currently as we speak, is murky.
Right. You did mention that the approach was very wrong. What approach would you rather government had taken?
This small-scale mining sector brings a lot of revenue into this country, which revenue, much of which, like 90 to 95%, stays in the country. So, when you want to embark on this kind of activities, you need a collaboration of the people, the small-scale miners who are doing it legally. Because, by and large, these other galamsey people are operating in these same areas clandestinely. And so if you cooperate with these small-scale miners, they will become like informants to the government so that when activities are going on illegally,
they can just send people to come and stop the activity. But in trying to resolve the issue, they didn't distinguish between people who were mining legally, who are small-scale miners, and the illegal ones. So, in effect, the whole exercise became counterproductive.
Admits, or the president admits, that he's worried about the return of Galamsey. Is that to say that he has admitted that he has failed in his fight against illegal mining in the country?
Well, I think to some extent it's a form of admission, but I don't think all is lost. I keep on saying that, politicians don't have the solutions to the problems that we are facing. There are technocrats who understand how systems work. And there are countries that are engaged in small-scale mining. They have a mining sector very vibrant, who have been able to resolve some of these issues. So some of these things, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And unfortunately, the approach that these people use always is counterproductive. I have said it over and over again on several occasions that we need to sit down and think through this problem, because there is an innovative way of going about these things. And at the end of the day, if we don't find a very, productive way and, a more smart approach to this, we will get to the point where the president is saying, he's worried.
Right. Mr. Seth Walashime, thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. He is a mining consultant. Business News is next. You're welcome back. Now, the Bank of Ghana says it has observed that a number of unlicensed entities are engaged in the provision of loans to the Ghanaian public in contravention of the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institution Act 2016, Act 930. The central bank says entities mostly employ the use of mobile applications and social media in their activities. The activities of these unauthorized entities, the central bank said, amount to non-adherence of the consumer protection requirements and an abuse of customer data and privacy laws. Among the entities providing loan services without a license from Bank of Ghana include Sikapa Pairs Quick Online Loan, Ghana Lending Application, Adamfupa Loan, Sika Kasa Online Lending, Sikera Loan Application, Beje Besia Loan, Crest Cash Loan, Mobi Loan Application, CD Now Cash Loans Application, among others. The Bank of Ghana is taking steps to take action against these entities and hereby advises the general public to desist from doing business with all unlicensed loan providers. Banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions, as well as payment service providers, are advised not to facilitate the illegal transactions of the unlicensed loan providers. The central bank is advising the general public to visit the bank's website for the approved list of licensed institutions. The public, it says, is advised to report such activities to the Bank of Ghana if they suspect any wrongdoing. Life is returning to normal in Yulo and Lower Menya Krobo municipalities almost a month after they were disconnected from the national grid. Businesses, healthcare delivery and routine household activities were severely affected due to the power cut. Now, in a Zoom interview with Metro News earlier, Public Relations Officer of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Tema Region, Sechiwa Mensah, noted that a communique on roadmap to address power challenges in Krobo will ensure smooth installation of prepaid meters in the area.
ECG is a utility company on one hand. The people generally would be the customers on the other hand, but we've always maintained since this whole outage that we have both become victims of circumstances, as in ECG and quite a number of the customers, we've all become victims of circumstances. It wasn't exactly fair. It really wasn't fair what happened. But for safety reasons, we had to go through what we just went through. It was an unpleasant situation. We were not happy with it. It was never part of any plan whatsoever, except some people did what they were not supposed to do. Some unauthorized people did what they were not supposed to do, and we had to go through that 3 weeks of outage. Well, electricity is an essential commodity. It's a critical commodity. So we would say that yes, generally when your power is off and it comes on, you are excited. So I would say that quite a number of the customers are heaving sighs of relief that the power has been restored. We are also heaving sighs of relief that the power has been restored, because like we've always maintained, we never said we don't want to work. However, we're asking for a safe working environment so that we'll be able to go about our duties. We started installation in towards the end of April 2022, and for about from then till now, we've been able to install some both in the Lower Manya and the Yilo Krobo municipalities. But as to the number we've been able to install, we would want to hold on to that for now. This morning we are continuing with the installation. We would want to come out with such figures at the appropriate.
Well, Chelsea lost by 3-0 over the weekend. Phil John Corte will be here to tell us more in sports.
It's 47 past midday in the Ghanaian capital of Accra. It's time for sports. My name is Phil John Corte. Ukrainian heavyweight boxer Alexander Usyk maintained his title in Jeddah on Saturday after beating Anthony Joshua in a showdown. Let's hear his reaction to him. He fought for the people of Kiev.
One judge for my team and personally for me, because I did box for the whole country and the half of the world.
I tried a different style. Well, previously in my career, through the sport of boxing, who's now head of security, I was beating guys based off of sheer hunger and passion. So just in the last fight, I wanted to compete in a more competitive fight. It wasn't enough, but I left everything in the gym. If I would have left everything in the
Let's go to the Accra Sports Stadium because the G6 matches are taking place. Yesterday, supporters of Accra Folk were furious as their side were beaten by 3-1 by Mediaba.
I'm telling you, I'm not happy with the game because the players, I don't know where from them, honestly, because what I'm expecting to see, I didn't see it. Honestly, unless what do you call it, the first captain and what do you call it, the number 8, he's the one I have seen. You have done something. They are just rubbish. There's the rest of the old players. They are there. Obi Junior is there, and Fatah is there. Why they don't fix them? And they are around.
Yeah. There's never man but you say players no. Your next match, they'll come out with something good for us because say they lack experience. Even though that they try to play the game very well for us, only the experience that they like. But I think that the coach have to teach them something. They have to teach them whatever that they have done mistakenly. They have to correct them so that the next match we can have something good to enjoy ourselves.
It was beautiful. I had so much fun. I'm a fan of Medium, so when they won the match, I was very happy. With their hearts of oak, I urge them that they should do more of their practice because they weren't attacking them too well from my point of view.
As we break the season, we got new players, so they weren't familiar with playing like first match like that. So for the first match that we lose, it was like we were trying our new players. So the second one, we were able to capture and bring the old ones so that we can know how our stuff. Because playing your first match with your new players, it will not take it easy like that. So I think using the new players to start, gave us that problem of losing the 2-0 against Brekum Chelsea. But I hope as we...
For those who are fans of Accra, has to focus at the Accra Sports Stadium as they lost to Mediama in the ongoing top 6 organized by GARCA. That's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarty. Hetty standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you, Johnny. It's now time for entertainment news. The Chalote Street Arts Festival, which happened over the weekend in Jamestown, was all fun and excitement. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the event. The festival that brings art, music, dance and performance onto the streets of Jamestown, Accra's Old Quarter, sparked a wave of euphoria among revelers. Some merrymakers, local and international tourists alike, thronged Jamestown, reintroducing the district's aliveness that had become accustomed to the community but was seemingly lost due to the COVID-19 invasion. It's been 2 years since Chalote was celebrated, and hence the festival was met with lots of excitement. Chalote literally translates to friend, let's go in Ghana, the language of indigenes of Accra, but has come to stand for flip-flops. The festival is a platform that brings art, music, design, dance, and performance onto the streets, taking the form of an exhibition and a carnival. Well, that's it for entertainment news on Newsbeat. My name is Harriet Adi Ken.
Thank you very much, Harriet. International news is next.
Kenya's defeated presidential candidate Raila Odinga has filed an online petition at the country's Supreme Court. Odinga is challenging the results of the August 9 election that gave his opponent William Ruto the victory. According to Odinga's lawyers, the petition will be filed later on Monday before the deadline of 2 p.m. or 11 hours GMT. Judges now have 14 days to issue a ruling. If they order an annulment, Kenya must hold a new presidential vote within 60 days. The Pakistani police have charged Imran Khan under an anti-terror law. The police case comes a day after the country's top media regulatory body imposed a ban on Khan's speeches for spreading hate speech against state institutions and officers, escalating political tensions in the country. He has been holding mass rallies across the country, seeking to return to office since he was removed from power in April in a no-confidence motion. Ukrainian officials report damage from artillery and rocket attacks in the eastern Bakhmut region, as well as attacks on Nikopol near the Zaporizhia nuclear plant. Kyiv warns Russian attacks could escalate in the run-up to Ukraine's 31st anniversary of independence from the Soviet rule on Wednesday, a day which also marks 6 months of the war.
Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Bye for now.